UIKG, Mercersburg, Chambersburg, Greencastle, 92.1 The Goat, the Tri-State's home for WIKG, Mercersburg, Chambersburg, Greencastle, 92.1 The Goat, the Tri-State's home for sports and news. Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie, and it's all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors, the right choice, voted winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State. What another lovely day that we have today and a full day ahead of us. We do have sunny skies today and a high of 62, cooling off just a little bit. Tonight clear, low right around 36, and then tomorrow sunny once again, high 67. That's going to get us into the weekend.
And that is your LTT forecast, by the way.
Your LTT forecast.
Or LT squared forecast?
Let's Talk Tri-State.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, very good. Wow, you're so clever. Today is Thursday, October 24th. I cannot believe in a week from today it's Halloween already. But today,
by the way, I meant to ask you, are you coming over for Halloween for trick-or-treat?
I would be normally because I do enjoy that, but I'm actually getting my hair done on Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that kind of shocking?
Well, Reagan had asked. She's like, is Auntie Katie coming for Halloween to see me in my outfit?
Did she really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to?
Because she knows you like Power Rangers, and she's going to be a Power Ranger.
My favorite Power Ranger was Amy Jo Johnson, the pink one.
That's what she's going.
Really?
Yeah.
How does she even know about the Power Rangers?
Mary's brother.
Oh.
Watches them with her.
What time does it start?
6 to 8.
6 to 8. You know, I cannot believe I even asked that question. We've talked about that how many times?
Have, I know.
I'll make it work.
We'll see.
We'll see. I don't want to make it a hairy situation.
No, you don't.
Right.
Absolutely not.
All right. So today we celebrate National Food Day. Favorite food, Tiny?
Oh my, chicken. It's very.
That's it. Just chicken.
Yeah. To think of a specific dish. I don't really have.
Fried chicken, grilled chicken, broiled chicken.
Grilled chicken.
Just grilled chicken is your favorite food.
Okay.
You're so easy.
You put me on the spot with this. I would say, all right, if I had to go something other than just that generic, crab cakes.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Love crab cakes.
That is a good one. My favorite meal, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Filet, medium, mashed potatoes, asparagus. It's my favorite meal. And if I was going to have a dessert, raspberry cheesecake.
Okay.
And if I was going to have an appetizer, some type of like crab pretzel, something
from Duke's.
Oh yes, oh gosh, those are really good. Yeah, so that would be what I would eat.
Well, if you ask me about an entire meal, I think crab cakes would be the entree. Now, of course, if I ate like I didn't care, mashed potatoes definitely. I'd probably be on board with the asparagus unless they're just really good green beans, because green beans are just my. You slay me with green beans because I love them. Appetizer, I gotta go with Outback coconut shrimp.
Okay.
Love Outback coconut shrimp. And dessert, I'm simple. I would probably say hot fudge sundae.
No, you wouldn't. No. You would say shoe fly pie.
Yes, you're right. Shoe fly pie from PA Dutch Market.
See, it's good I know you as well as I do.
Very good, yeah.
This week is actually Bat Appreciation Week. It's a week-long celebration that focuses on different bat causes, bat education, conservation, and other amazing bat facts.
I think this is very interesting given that the World Series is ramping up. So we do have that newfound appreciation for bats like Louisville Slugger and
right, yeah, different type of bat, but of course the bat is one of the oldest living mammals on Earth with a lineage that stretches back more than 50 million years. There are about 900 species of bats, and I actually found some pretty interesting
bat facts.
If you don't mind,
the bat stats,
if you will, very good. They were popular in literature. Shakespeare's classic Macbeth has a scene where a character uses bat fur in her brew. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay.
Is this the double bubble toil and trouble?
I don't know. Their dung makes excellent fertilizer.
Naturally.
So if you find it and you want to harvest it and put it in your garden,
put it on the dung heap.
You never know.
You done good if that's the case.
A fungus once killed millions of bats. It was white nose syndrome caused by a fungus killed millions of bats in the United States not that long ago in 2006.
I hear the white nose syndrome cleaned a lot of rock stars too.
They're really fast. They can reach speeds up to 100 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And baby bats are called?
Batlings?
Pups.
Pups.
They are called pups. And so those are some bat facts for you today. I also
I can't
think
believe those things have been hanging around for 50 million years.
I really like bats. I mean, obviously they have this connotation to them that, I don't know, they're scary, they suck your blood, whatever. But have you ever seen a baby bat?
Oh, yeah.
They are darling.
See, but I can't see them as the baby bat because I know what they grew up to be.
And have you ever seen how big they get in Australia?
Well, they're enormous.
Massive.
Yeah.
Like feet, like 3 feet.
Did I ever tell you the story about bat in our basement when I was growing up?
I think so, but I don't think it has a happy ending.
It has a happy ending for us.
Yeah. I don't like hearing this.
Well, a bat got loose not got loose, we didn't have it, it got into our basement, and that was my area to go play. The only other thing that happened in the basement was Mom would do laundry. Mm-hmm. So when this bat got down there, I was petrified of bats because, quick backstory, years before I grew up with my aunt and uncle had a pool, and we would go out there all the time in the evenings and go swimming after school. Well, my cousin, who was a year or two older than me, she had me convinced, because you would see bats flying around.
Absolutely.
But she had me convinced that they would fly down if you were there, and they would bite your head.
So this is how they start getting this bad reputation.
Well, they got it because it scared the crap out of me. So I never wanted anything to do with bats. So I always had to go underwater when they flew by, and I never could prove that she wasn't underwater, but she probably wasn't. Anyway, so fast forward, then we get a bat in our basement, and I cannot go to my favorite play area. So Mom you couldn't find it. Occasionally, Mom said when she was down there, she would like hear a flutter by, but you could never see it, didn't know where it was. Called, I don't know, what do you call it? Not the Humane Society, but DNR, Department of Natural Resources, Animal Control. They said, they told us, well, you're not allowed to kill it.
Good.
But we can't come get it. Well, of course, that did not go over well. It was, well.
That's when you get the pillowcase and you go up in the corner and put it in the pillowcase, close it, and take it outside.
We couldn't get it. We could never see it.
Well, then just let it live out its days.
Well, but I wanted to play and I was scared.
Well, you know what?
Excuse me. I wanted to play with my wrestling figures. So anyway, this one, Mom goes downstairs. I was nowhere near following her. She comes back up and she said, the bat is on the wall down here. And I peeked down, and I mean that thing was 100 feet wide if it was a foot.
I'm sure it was.
And it was sprawled across this wall. And Mom hands me a badminton racket and a laundry basket to put over my head and have me at the top of the steps in case that thing went to get by and I could smack it with that. She took a broom, had a laundry basket over her head. I didn't see it. All I heard was her get over there, and she said, God give me strength. And I heard a whack, and that thing squealed like a mouse.
I don't like this story.
Well, I mean, look, not everyone has this sentimentality toward bats or other vermin and rodents as you do.
The thing is, we need them. They do so much good.
Well, exactly, but we couldn't get it to go outside where it was needed.
Would you have done the same thing if it were a bird?
Probably. Well, not kill. I mean, we wouldn't have killed it, but birds are different because birds you're able to kind of shoo them away. The bats are so just insanely quick, and they can fit into the just tiniest of spaces that they just go and wherever they are, that you're not going to find them.
Well, they're welcome in my home. I would not be killing them if they were in there.
I hope you get an infestation.
I'm sure you do. But back on this day, it was in 2005 that Rosa Parks died at the age of 92. It was back on this day in 2018.
Listen to this. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if I don't say this, I'll forget. I was listening to one of our programs in the evening last night, the JR Sport Brief, and it wasn't the anniversary of it, but they were talking about Mr. Rogers. Do you know he's been dead since 2003?
No, that's when I graduated high school.
21 years.
Yeah, no, I did not know that.
I was blown away. I would have thought it was like COVID.
10? Yeah.
Whatever.
Wow.
23 years?
That is pretty shocking.
21 years, excuse me.
Well, it was back in 2018 that the EU declared that single-use plastics would be banned by 2021. It was also back on this day in 2018 that someone in South Carolina won $1.6 billion in a jackpot, making it the biggest win in U.S. history of all time. And that person, I did some follow-up research. They decided to take the one-time payout of $908 million instead of having it, however much it was over like 30 years or something.
No, who wouldn't take the payout?
I wouldn't.
What?
No, I wouldn't. Because it's over like 30 years that you get, I don't know, millions of dollars a year.
Boy, I'd take it right now. Give it to me.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how how you could even spend that much money. So
Well, let's not talk about a problem we'll never have.
yeah, we're never going to have this problem. In 1979, on this day, the Guinness World Records awarded Paul McCartney the best-selling songwriter of all time. And back on this day in 1901, I always thought this was a myth. On her 63rd birthday, American schoolteacher Annie Taylor was the first person to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel. That actually happened. Mm-hmm. I remember hearing about that on I Love Lucy, one of the episodes. Yeah. I didn't think that actually happening, but her reasoning for doing so was to secure herself financially in her later years. She lived to tell the tale, and she didn't make much money from actually doing that, but she did make something, and she went
got some
over.
fame.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I didn't know that was an actual thing that happened in history. But, I mean, there's a lot of significant things that happened today on the 24th, and it is National Bat Week, so make sure you keep those creatures
Wait a minute, it's National Bat Week?
It's the whole week.
They get a week and food gets a day?
That's right. So it goes the 24th until Halloween on the 31st.
Well, I'm rethinking this.
The whole week. And we have a big show lined up today. I mean, lots and lots of interviews.
Yeah, we do.
We're going to be talking to our friends from the Volunteer Fire Company of Halfway, Maryland. We're going to talk to the Hafers, the Hafers Guns,
Tim and Becca.
we love, Washington County Museum of Fine Arts, and Main Street, Martinsburg.
Nice.
So lots to do today. But before we get to all of that, let's hear the good news of the day, or the good word of the day.
Hello, this is Pastor John from Good Ground Church in St. Thomas. I want to take a few minutes to share with you a bit of God's Word. The Apostle Paul, he writes in Romans 8:38 through 39, "For I'm persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, neither things present, nor things to come, neither height, nor depth, nor any other created thing shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord." You see, before Paul became a Christian, he actually persecuted Christians. He attacked them. He tried to put them in prison. And that wasn't until he met Jesus. And after he met Jesus, he changed. And he began to preach the very message that he fought against. And as he writes these words, I wonder if he remembers who he was and what he did. And I wonder if he remembered how Jesus changed his life. Paul experienced God's love, and he realized that nothing that he had ever done before could separate him from God's love. Paul realized that the depths and the heights of God's love were vast. He realized that as far as he tried to distance himself, or as low as he found himself going, nothing could keep him from God's love. I want to ask you, is there something that you're putting between you and God that keeps you separate? Because the Bible says that nothing can separate us from God's love. The only thing that separates us from it are the things that we put between him and us. Today, if there's something you've put between yourself and God, I want to ask you to remove those barriers, to come home to the Father, and to receive the grace that is waiting for you with open arms.
Well, if you're wondering how the Mummers Parade is shaping up for this weekend, I'll save you the trouble for researching it for yourself, Katie. How about that? Alsatia Club members are bullish on this Saturday's 97th Mummers Parade in downtown Hagerstown. After having to cancel the parade for 2 years in 2020 and 2021, obviously due to COVID, and with fewer and smaller participating units the past 2 years, parade chairman James McLeaf said the parade is back up to 200 units, including several bands. The Baltimore Ravens Marching Band is going to lead this year's Mummers Parade.
Wow.
The parade is this Saturday, October 26th, in downtown Hagerstown along South Potomac Street.
This is a huge, huge event.
I remember when I was a kid with the Mummers Parade, the big deal was each year it was alternated between South Hagerstown High School and North Hagerstown High School which band would lead the parade. So whichever band led the parade, then the other band brought up the end of the parade, and then next year it flipped. And I don't know, because it was just this, it was a standard every year thing. You knew who was going to do it from year to year, but the pride that the schools had in the fact that, oh yeah, we lead the parade this year. Well, yes, because you didn't last year. And I say this in all love because I went to one of the schools, South Hagerstown High School, and I never understood this.
Like you're going to do it next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and in 364 days, the other school's going to do it. So what's the big deal?
You said 200?
Yeah, 200 units.
How long does that parade last?
It can go a long
few hours, yeah, 3, 4.
If I remember correctly, when I was a kid for this, we sat just past, so there's the grandstand area where they had the judges and all that kind of stuff, and that was right in front of Bester Elementary. about a block past that, toward the end of the parade, is about where we would sit. And I remember it would get to the point where it would get so long that you just start packing up and going. And
sure.
the parade's still going on. And by that time, too, back then, there were probably even more than this, 200. Mm-hmm. And the people in the parade were just sucking wind.
Well, they're tired, they're hungry. That's a long time to be doing
and
that.
And they passed by us, and there I am chomping down hot dogs and hot chocolate.
Of course, getting ready to go to Crumpy's Donuts.
There you go.
Like you do.
I already went. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's true. Well, speaking of Hagerstown, the Downtown Hagerstown Main Street program, they're looking for local businesses, artisans, and makers to participate in the annual Handmade Hagerstown Holiday Market on November 23rd. Say that 5 times fast. The last day to apply is this Friday, the 25th. You can participate in the market, or if you want some more information, you can get online to mainstreethagerstown.org and that /holiday market. So if you have a local business, artisan, or anything handmade, you can definitely get involved in the holiday market. The deadline is this Friday, and the market will be on the 23rd.
And we're going to have, coming up, I believe it's November 8th, we're going to have Brittany from downtown Hagerstown in again to talk about some things. So I want to pick her brain about this because I didn't even realize that this was happening.
Well, this is great. This is a great way to get some Christmas shopping done.
I would think so.
That's what I love these types of events because they're unique items. It's something local. You're supporting local, and you get some really great gifts as well. So everybody wins.
And I love these types of things because it's, to your point, handmade, but it's community. Mm-hmm. It is something to do in downtown Hagerstown, which is my hometown. And I love, being in Waynesboro now, I love when they have the holiday market and then the farmers market.
Oh, the farmers market
in downtown Waynesboro. So these things are just really cool. I remember years ago there was a company, a restaurant that came into Hagerstown. They've since closed down, but they were German, and Hagerstown is a very rich German history. And their goal was to have a Kris Kringle market, and it's something that I encourage anybody if you love Christmas. I wish we had something like this around here. Is Google Kris Kringle market in Germany. Mm-hmm. And it is...
Yeah, I know about the Kris Kringle market.
A massive to-do. Mm-hmm. And they even made, I think, a couple of Hallmark movies regarding this type thing. But they have wanted to do that, and I was all in. So you just let me know what you need me to do, and sadly they didn't get to do it because I think it was a permitting issue. But I wish someone would do that, and maybe this is, leading to that.
Yeah, segue for it, if you will. Well, let's go ahead and check in with sports with Andy.
Lots of playoff action in Franklin County last night for volleyball. The Class 4A first round took place, and Chambersburg fell to Governor Mifflin. Manheim Township also got a victory over Waynesboro. And tonight, number 9 Susquehannock will take on Greencastle Antrim. That match starting at 7. And number 7 Shalom Christian will take on number 2 Covenant Christian. That match also starts at 7. In boys soccer, for Franklin County sports, Shippensburg takes on number 5 Cocalico tonight at Memorial Park. That match kicks off at 7. For Washington County sports and flag football last night, Smithsburg took down South Hagerstown, winning by a score of 32-12. In boys soccer action, Maryland 1A West Region 2 quarterfinals took place last night, and Clear Spring beat Smithsburg 3-1. Tuscarora won against South Hagerstown 4-1. And coming up on Friday, St. James will battle in the MAC quarterfinals. In girls soccer action on Wednesday night, Linganore beat North Hagerstown 2-0, and Westminster came out on top, blanking South Hagerstown 9-0. Winters Mill won 8-0 against Williamsport in the Maryland 2A West Region 1 quarterfinals. And in the Maryland 1A West Region 2 quarterfinals, Clear Spring beat Catoctin 5-0. Coming up tonight in girls soccer, St. James goes to Elizabeth Seton. That match starts at 4:15 p.m. In Washington County volleyball action, according to the Herald Mail, Smithsburg toppled Allegheny last night 3-0. James Wood knocked off Williamsport by a score of 3-0. And St. James beat Middletown 3-0, winning by scores of 25-20, 25-19, and a close one with 25-23. Coming up tonight, Berkeley Springs goes to Hancock. That match starts at 6:30. Oakdale travels to Clear Spring. That match begins at 7. And Brunswick travels to South Hagerstown. That match begins at 7.
Brian Radke here from Westwood One. Longtime NFL head coach Ron Rivera joins me from Los Angeles as we kick off Week 8 with Thursday Night Football between the Rams and the Vikings. Minnesota is coming off their first loss of the season to the Lions, while the Rams hope to build off their win on Sunday against the Raiders. Don't miss it. Vikings at the Rams coming up on Thursday Night Football. Exclusively on 92.1 The GOAT, the Tri-State's home for local sports and news. Online at 921thegoat.com.
Friday, November 8th, Greencastle Family Dental will offer services including fillings, cleanings, extractions, and limited oral exams at no charge to veterans in the tri-state area without dental benefits. For more details, call 717-597-7197. If you are interested in this event or would like to donate sealed snacks or drinks, call 717-597-7197 or send a message via Facebook or Google. Greencastle Family Dental, 50 Eastern Avenue, Suite 108.
In a world where storms rage and roofs are left defenseless, one veteran hero stands tall, protecting homes from disaster. It's not just any hero, it's Mighty Dog Roofing, your neighborhood hero, ready to fight leaks, storms, and more. Whether it's repairs, replacements, or inspections, Mighty Dog is there to save the day with cutting-edge technology and unbeatable service. Head to MightyDogRoofing.com for more information and to schedule your rescue. Mighty Dog Roofing, because every home deserves a hero.
Everybody's athletic journey is different. Some athletes might find themselves injured, and others are looking to get back into their favorite activity. At Meritus Sports Medicine, our expert team will support the unique needs of athletes of all ages and levels, from youth to professional. Conveniently located at the Valley Mall, our new facility boasts leading-edge technology and the compassionate local care everyone deserves. Our expert team will develop individual treatment plans guided by the needs and goals of each athlete. To learn more, visit meritushealth.com/sportsmedicine.
Celebrate the season Friday, October 25th at the Downtown Hagerstown Halloween Block Party, a free event for the entire family. Trick or treat on South Potomac Street from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. There will be costume contests for kids and adults, inflatables, and a bounce house for the kids, and a DJ to keep everyone's spirits lively. You'll have a second chance to trick or treat downtown businesses Saturday, October 26th, 4 to 6 p.m. before the Mummers Parade.
We're speaking with Josh Dahl, certified nurse practitioner and owner of Virtus Men's Health in Hagerstown.
We are a full-service men's clinic that take care of pretty much any issue that a man may have related to erectile issues, low testosterone, weight gain and or loss, and just trying to be as optimal as they can throughout their life. And we can certainly provide those services and give the guys the edge to still be active and live that full, healthy lifestyle and continue to do the things that they like to do.
At what age do you say, well, you could seek help with Virtus Men's Health?
I would say the majority of the clients we're going to service are probably going to be between the age of 35 and 70.
Josh Dahl, certified nurse practitioner and owner of Virtus Men's Health, Morgans Avenue in Hagerstown. Online, virtusmenshealth.com. Josh, what do you say to the guy who might find these topics embarrassing?
We're happy to be able to talk to you about that and really give you a detailed explanation and be that person that can relate to your problems and really help move you forward in a good, positive direction.
Sunday, November 3rd, Cedar Ridge Children's Home and School in Williamsport, Maryland is hosting their 12th annual fundraiser quarter auction. Admission $5 per person. Doors open at 1 p.m. The auction begins at 2. Items to be auctioned include gift certificates for goods and services, gift cards for local businesses, curated gift baskets, and much more. No pre-sales. Details on Facebook or online at cedarridgeministries.org.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors, the right choice winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State.
Our first guest today, we have Chief Jamie Drawball from the Volunteer Fire Company of Halfway, Maryland. Thanks for being here with us today, Jamie.
Thank you for having me.
Walk us through the history of the Fire Company of Halfway, Maryland.
The Volunteer Fire Company of Halfway, Maryland was incorporated in 1949. This year is our 75th anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a huge milestone. We're a combination department. We employ our own personnel, our paramedics, and we have one paid driver. The rest is volunteer. So we are one of the busiest counties, Washington County stations that offer fire and EMS out of one facility. We run around 4,500 calls a year out of one station.
Do you find that you have a hard time getting volunteers?
Especially today, yes. Today's society has changed so much. 39 years ago when I joined the fire company at 15 years old, that's what everybody did. Everybody joined the fire company, and there was a whole bunch of us that were there. Fast forward 39 years, I'm the chief now, and I'm struggling to get people. But again, society's changed, economy's changed. The way families do things, dual income families is, it's hard to volunteer. Plus, all of our training that's required is definitely an impact on getting volunteers.
When you want people who are willing to be all in.
Correct.
As much as they can with their volunteer time. And to your point, with the economy such as it is, I'm sure it is difficult to find people who are they may want to join, but they say, man, I'm sorry, I got another part-time job. I need to do that.
Yeah, the devotion of time is, and it's not only, I mean, in a volunteer corporation, it's not only the running the calls, it's not only taking the training and becoming certified as an EMT or a firefighter, which you're talking, years of college, because everything's through the University of Maryland, but then you have fundraising. Mm-hmm. We have bingo. We have our cornhole tournament coming up this Sunday at Antietam Brewery. It's we have to work those plus, so it's difficult.
Yeah, it's time consuming. Sure.
Yes, very time consuming.
So let's talk about some of the volunteer, some of the fundraising that you do have coming up. So when do you guys host bingo?
We host bingo 3 days a week.
Okay. Oh, 3 days a week?
3 days a week, yes,
wow.
ma'am. We host it Wednesday afternoons, Friday evenings, and Sunday afternoons. Mm-hmm. And then I believe it's once a month on a Sunday. I think they skip certain months because of holidays and stuff. But we do a bingo bonanza, and that is a minimum of $500 payout per game, upwards to $1,000 a payout of a game of bingo.
Do you ever need help with announcing, like bingo announcers?
Like volunteers? Bingo callers?
Yeah.
Well, we will soon, because my son is the bingo caller right now, and he's about to get evicted, so
there you go.
He needs a job.
No. I do really enjoy that job, so if you ever need
I
to
can
step
tell
in.
you can make a lot of older women really mad at you really quick.
Yeah,
at
maybe
bingo.
maybe I won't step into that job then.
but to be fair, the older men that show up may like you.
That's true.
Which you gotta
look. We can kill two birds with one stone here.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to this area, you said you have about 4,500 calls a year. What do you think is the largest? What are you seeing the most of?
Medical calls are on a rise. The baby boomers are obviously getting older. People treat 911 like it's a doctor's office, and it's partially our fault for not educating the public on what we do and what we can do. Some people don't have insurance. Some people don't have a car to go to urgent care or whatever, so they rely on us. And we're not going to turn them down. I mean, that's morally and ethically wrong.
Yeah, of course.
That's what we're here for, is to help them. So EMS calls are definitely on the rise. Fires are down, starting to come back around to increase with this time of the year, with heaters coming on and things like that.
And this is Fire Prevention Month, isn't it?
Yes, it is. October's Fire Prevention Month. Mrs. O'Leary's cow kicked over the lantern, started the Great Chicago Fire. That's why it's the first week of October every year.
Let me go back to something that you said, Jamie. I'm not, for anyone who's listening, watching, we certainly are not encouraging anyone to do this.
Oh, boy.
But am I to understand that there are some people who, when they need a transport for a non-emergency, like to a doctor's appointment or something of that, they sometimes call you and expect that you are going to, or believe you might do that?
They won't call us direct. They'll call 911, yes. It has happened, yes.
And does 911, obviously there's a dispatcher between the caller and you.
There's a huge process before it ever gets to us, yes.
I was going to say, so how... I'm interested in how that. I'm so sorry, but I'm very.
No, that's quite all right. It's quite all right. So when you call 911, they have a PSAP. It's a primary answering point. The call taker takes the call, and they do all the information, and they have a flow chart that they have to follow. Then it gets passed to a dispatcher. The dispatcher then rack the call and what's the appropriate unit to go, location-wise, and things like that. And then depending on what the call is. So we've had repeat offenders, and we have to get medical director involved. We have to get adult protective services, child protective services, the social, all kinds of, the health department. There's so many factors that go into it.
So it's one of those. Usually, we'll do it this time, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do, and we will continue to do it because,
you're good people.
Sure. It's the right thing to do.
Sure.
I mean, unfortunately, it taxes the system a lot. So.
And I'm sure people aren't doing that because they just want.
They're
the
not
fire
doing.
company
No,
to
they're
come
not
take
doing.
them.
No, they're not doing it maliciously.
Yeah, right.
No, not at all. No,
Just also a lack of education, like you said earlier.
Correct.
And you had mentioned before we went on the air here the move over law.
The move over law, yes. October again being the 17th was the National Do Not Disturb While Driving Day, and the 19th of October is National Move Over Day. The move over law is when we're operating along the roadways. The law is that you are to move over one lane away from, and that includes law enforcement, tow operators, road service, fire department, EMS, and a lot of that all started through ResponderSafety.com, which was initiated right here in the Tri-State area. In March of 1998, Lionsville Fire Department in Pennsylvania had a line of duty death on the turnpike, and then in May 3rd, 1998, we had a line of duty death in Halfway where one of our guys was hit and killed on Interstate 81, which started the white paper to Congress, which changed the laws.
It's interesting. We had a Maryland State Police trooper on the show last week, and we were talking about this exact same thing.
Absolutely.
And how it is a problem, and people aren't moving over, and if you can't move over, at least
slow down.
Yes.
Yeah, he was saying he'd been hit 3 times in his career.
I've been hit once. I was hit June 12th, 2023 at my full-time career job.
Just last year?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I'm retired from Montgomery County now. And when I was working there, I was hit by a Ford F-150.
Do you attribute any of that because of distracted driving? People
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and just not paying attention.
That's the biggest thing right now is they have a campaign out, don't be a D driver, distracted. So with everything in technology nowadays, with cell phones and iPads, and I mean, I drive down the road and I look over at a Tesla, and they're not even driving it. They're right. You know, they're on their iPad or whatever, and it's like, okay, I get technology, but it only goes so far.
Well, and it's also nice that some cars now, a lot of cars, probably most of them, have the lane departure.
Yes, my wife's car has it. I hate it.
It
scares the crap out of me every time I do it.
So I'm a fan of it to an extent.
Sure.
I like that in this case. If that were to save at least one life,
absolutely,
it's worth it.
Absolutely.
The feature that I can't stand is my wife's car has the 2 hands on the wheel, and it beeps you if you don't have 2 hands on the wheel. Oh, I told her, I said, I'm going to find that wire and it's going to cut.
Yes, that would be annoying.
What are you guys doing currently in the community for Fire Prevention Month?
We've had a couple of the daycares in our first area, in the Halfway area, reach out, and we take apparatus and go out and we do the stop, drop, and roll fire prevention stuff with the kids. Look, there's not a kid out there that doesn't like fire trucks. I'm just a big kid, and I still like fire trucks.
We like them too.
So yeah, but yeah, we've done that. If the communities reach out to us, we'll come out and do fire prevention stuff, or they can also come to us, schedule a time. We'll make sure we have somebody there that's not assigned to riding a fire truck or an ambulance, because chances are we might not be there.
Right.
So we have somebody assigned to that spot to be there for them. We have a lot of like Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, troops, things like that that'll come through.
Yeah, so. we were saying a couple of weeks ago, I remember when I was a kid in the fire department, when the firefighters would come in and they would bring their uniform, and we could try on the uniform as little kids, and we would practice stop.
That jacket was heavy.
Yeah, I loved it. Fond memories of that.
Yeah, I have fond memories of that every day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah, we try not to put it on the kids anymore, just because of all the carcinogens and everything that are in our gear, and cancer and things like that. We're trying to be healthier.
We didn't know then, right?
I drank out of a garden hose and rode the back of a pickup truck. I'm okay.
Lead paint.
Right, I'm okay.
Yeah. So we often hear about the horror stories that you come across, of which I'm sure are far too many. Well, let's focus on some good stories, some good times. What's a moment that stands out to you that was probably one of your most rewarding while you were in the line of duty?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big. He's been there for 39 years.
Goodness
well,
gracious.
Then you should have at least one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, nobody ever asked that question.
That's a great question.
It's what's the worst thing you've ever seen?
Exactly.
It's like, oh my goodness,
It's fascination with the negative.
Yeah, pretty much. And I wouldn't discuss it anyway, because I'm not going to subject people to that.
Sure.
I was on a vehicle accident one time. It was a motorcyclist who was struck by a vehicle. And I honestly did not believe he was going to survive the ride to the hospital. And like 6 months later, he walked into the fire station to thank us. So to me, that's the reward. Yesterday, I ran a medical call with my ambulance. I happened to be in the area, ran a medical call, and we were at a restaurant, and there's a gentleman with his daughter out in the parking lot, and she's just, oogling at the lights flashing and everything. I carried plastic fire helmets in my chief's car.
Right.
I got one. I said, you got to tell me what your name is. Handed a helmet. Positive interaction.
Absolutely.
That's, so like I was telling you earlier, it takes 10 good things to undo the one bad thing that we do. Mm-hmm. But that's the dad and the kid who's going to remember, he took 5 minutes out to,
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping that little girl comes to the fire station one day and puts an application in.
Right.
Somebody's got to take my job.
I was just going to say, I'm sure that you have volunteer opportunities available.
Absolutely, yes. And whether you want to ride fire trucks and ambulances or you don't, we have administrative duties. We have fundraising. We have so many other things that go on, and it's hard for the crews that actually run the calls to do everything. It's how much do we ask of one person?
Mm-hmm.
And we need you.
And it's volunteer.
Yeah, and we need you. The community needs you.
I'd like to think so.
Anything that can be done to lessen the load a little bit, even
Absolutely.
just answering the phones for a couple hours.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, you'd be amazed at just the amount of paperwork, filing, computer work, things like that. Because every time we run a call, there's paperwork that has to be done. There's reports. There's all kinds of stuff that needs done. So.
Do you offer? Because I was an educator for so many years, can kids come through and take a field trip?
Yes, absolutely. HCC had a program over the summer for, it was like what do you want to be when you grow up for 10th graders. So over the summer, they brought these kids in for a week at a time, and they did one with police, fire, and EMS. I'm the full-time fire rescue instructor now for Washington County at the new training center. They came there. We took them to halfway for a day, put them in the fire truck, put them in the ambulance, did everything. Those kids loved it. So yes, we will do that. We actually have a young gentleman at my fire station now who is a licensed EMT. He is 16 years old, and he does half day morning at school, and he does the work at the fire station. So he's considered working for us during his half day at school, and he's getting his credits that way.
I'm sure that when you're doing that and you put some of those kids in a fire truck or in an ambulance, that's the moment that they knew.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
This is what I want to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. You either know it or you're like, yep, this is not for me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Jamie, thank you so much for spending time with us today on Let's Talk Tri-State. We always love having you in, and hopefully you'll come back again.
And oh, absolutely.
you're
Anytime.
always
Thank you
welcome.
guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
Coming up, we're going to take a look at news and sports, and it's all powered by 2A Arms. 2A Arms LLC, 2A and PA, Firearms and Freedom.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
I feel the same way that I felt yesterday. I feel like this was a game that the Cowboys should have won.
They did.
They did. I didn't think they were spectacular, but that's okay. You don't have to do style points. This isn't college. We're not trying to impress the BCS. This was good for them to get away with a win. And I still have them not making the playoffs this year. Hey, this is Maggie Gray on 92.1 The GOAT, the Tri-State home for local sports and news.
At Younger Motor Cars, you always know you're getting a good deal. Because when you buy from Younger Mitsubishi, you get double the factory warranty on every new Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Now 20 years, 200,000 miles. Double the miles, double the time. And with Younger Express Purchase, you have access to a stress-free, convenient way to shop. Value your trade and finance online. Start shopping now at YoungerMitsubishi.com. Younger, the name you can trust.
Ho, ho, ho. It's that time of year. Well, almost. Entries are open now through November 1st for the 39th annual Greencastle Christmas Parade. The field fills up quickly, so enter your organization or business now by going to the events tab on 921thegoat.com. The parade will be Saturday, November 23rd at 9:21 a.m. All details for entrance are online, so sign up today and lock in your spot for the biggest parade in Greencastle with hundreds of your neighbors and friends. Presented by Verstanic Media and Antrim Way Honda.
Improve your odds for a successful fall archery season. Stop by Keystone Outdoors before you head to the woods. Their experienced staff will have you and your bow ready when you walk out the door. Ask for details on Keystone Outdoors' annual Battle of the Bucks contest. Harvest a buck and enter to win prizes and bragging rights. Deadline for rifle is Friday, November 29th. Must register in store. All entries have a chance to win a Weatherby Model 307 Adventure SD. Keystone Outdoors, Fort Loudon. Everything outdoors.
Kamala Harris gets that everyday costs are too high. She has real plans to tackle price gouging, cut taxes for middle-class families, and make life more affordable. Her opponent's plan?
Donald Trump plans to impose what is, in effect, a national sales tax. On everyday products, it will mean higher prices on just about every one of your daily needs. A Trump tax on gas, a Trump tax on food, a Trump tax on clothing, a Trump tax on over-the-counter medication. Donald Trump's plan would cost a typical family $3,900 a year. When everyday prices are too high, he will make them even higher.
Kamala Harris, a better plan for lowering costs for a future we can afford. Paid for by FFPAC, ffpac.org, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Are you currently medically uninsured? Uninsured citizens are healthier and more productive through free access to health care. Are you currently a citizen of Washington County, Maryland?
Hi, I'm Nicole, Executive Director of the Community Free Clinic. We can help those in need of physical or mental health care, including prescription medicine and lab services. Services are not based on income. Most services are free to qualifying patients. Are you currently medically uninsured? If you need physical or mental health care, learn if you qualify at mycommunityfreeclinic.org.
Saturday, October 26th, head out to Moto Member PA for their first annual Trunk or Treat from 6 to 8 p.m. There'll be games, prizes, face painting, and fun for all. Prizes for best costume and best trunk will be awarded. Trunk or Treat, Saturday, October 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Moto Member PA on Scheller Avenue in Chambersburg. Also, there are a few spots left to register a decorated trunk. Just contact Athena at Moto Member today. Moto Member PA. Find your adventure.
This is Eric at Hancock Chevrolet. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hancock Chevrolet, it is that easy. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hancock Chevrolet will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time in a car dealership playing the dumb back and forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Cumberland to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hancock Chevrolet absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HancockChevy.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want, and your new ride will be delivered to you at no risk.
See dealer for details.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Let's talk Tri-State.
Well, one thing I can say is Katie has a lot of gas, typically. But I can also tell you that your gas prices may have gone down. Regional gas prices fell last week and reached an average of $3.18 per gallon.
Oh.
Regular fuel on Monday. That's down from last week's $3.22 per gallon. So we're trending in the right direction.
Now, how long did it stay down, though?
Well, that's... I didn't say anything about that. This is according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. The average fuel price in our Central Atlantic region has fallen about 3 cents since last month. Gas prices across the region in the last year have been as low as $3.18 on October 21st and as high as $3.85 back on August 7th.
What is the price that you see where you get excited?
Anything nowadays sub $3, I'm good. If it starts with 2, then I'm good.
And you've seen that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it was a few weeks ago. I think there were several places, and I saw on some of the Facebook groups that several places had in the $2.89. I think Sam's had $2.89.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is nice. Which reminds me, I have to give you back your Sam's Club card.
You know what this leads me to think we should do a gas report.
I would love that.
Gas prices.
Because I am one of those people that I will drive somewhere for cheap. I'll make it a reason to have to go there.
Right.
You know, if the gas is cheaper, okay, well, while I'm there, I'll hit whatever stores around there and knock out a few errands as well. But I am one of those people that will drive for lower gas. Absolutely.
Well, the
it's
bad,
a good idea.
The bad news is a year ago, the average gas price in our region was 12% higher at $3.60 a gallon. That's,
Just
I
too
guess
much.
that's good news because it's not there, but
Right.
man, oh man.
Just for the amount of driving that I do personally, it's a lot.
I want my
It's
gas at $2 a gallon.
Yeah, I would even take $2.50 at this point.
Oh,
Or I mean, $2 would be great, but more.
Meet in the middle, $2.25 a gallon.
$2.25. I'm here for that. The historic 40-acre Hogmeyer Berry Farm in Washington County, Maryland. I just want to confirm I'm saying that correct.
Hogmeyer Berryman.
I'm sorry, Hogmeyer Berryman Farm in Washington County, Maryland, has now added to more than 41,000 acres of land preserved in conservation easements in the county. The farm, listed on the National Register of Historic Places, dates back to the early 19th century. Where is this exactly located?
I don't know. I meant to research that, and I didn't get around to it. But I just thought that this was amazing because just last week we also reported on a farm that had received an honor for being the Farm of the Year in Washington County.
Yes.
And then here we have one that's added to the National Historic Registry. What I should have done, and shame on me, is I should have researched why. What is historic? Is it just the age, which is fine, or is there something that happened there? But I would think if it was something major, it would have said that.
41,000 acres. Whew.
Well, no, it's added to. There are 41,000 acres of preserved land in general. This is just added to.
That said 41,000.
It's like the overall total.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for explaining that to me. Something you don't have to explain to me, because Andy's going to do it.
That's right.
What's going on with sports?
Here's your national sports roundup. Last night in the NBA, the Pacers beat the Pistons 115-109. The Hawks took down the Nets 120-116, and the Orlando Magic beat the Heat 116-97. The Milwaukee Bucks beat the Philadelphia 76ers 124-109, while the Cleveland Cavaliers were victorious over the Toronto Raptors 136-106. The New Orleans Pelicans beat the Chicago Bulls 123-111, and the Phoenix Suns took down the Los Angeles Clippers in a close game, 116-113. They beat them in overtime. The Golden State Warriors beat the Trailblazers 139-104. Tonight we have the Boston Celtics going up against the Washington Wizards. The San Antonio Spurs battle the Dallas Mavericks. The Oklahoma City Thunder take on the Denver Nuggets. And the Minnesota Timberwolves will take on the Sacramento Kings. Not a lot of action in the NHL last night. The Capitals did take on the Philadelphia Flyers and were victorious by a score of 6-3. For the Capitals, McMichael put 2 in the net and had 3 assists, while Thompson, the goalie for the Capitals, had 26 saves on the game. Coming up tonight, there's some great action in the NHL. The Dallas Stars take on the Boston Bruins. The St. Louis Blues battle the Toronto Maple Leafs. The New Jersey Devils take on the Detroit Red Wings. The Minnesota Wild take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Florida Panthers battle the New York Rangers. The Carolina Hurricanes take on the Calgary Flames. The Colorado Avalanche will battle the Utah Hockey Club. The Winnipeg Jets take on the Seattle Kraken. And the San Jose Sharks take on the Los Angeles Kings. The World Series begins on Friday. Tomorrow, the Yankees will take on the Dodgers in Game 1 of the World Series at Dodger Stadium. Getting the start for the Yankees is Garrett Cole, and getting the start for the Dodgers is Jack Flaherty. That game starts at 8:08.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach at 921thegoat.com.
Surplus City finds factory overruns, buybacks, and closeouts and turns them into great everyday deals. Right now, you'll find stovepipe, tarps and tarp straps, and a variety of caulking for all your project needs. They have RV antifreeze too. Shop now for fall and Christmas decor and flags, and arts and crafts supplies. A large shipment of toys has arrived. Give Santa a helping hand by stopping by Surplus City, Westside Plaza, Lincoln Way West, Chambersburg. Need it? Think Surplus City.
Real quick, raise your hand if you want to lose an additional 4 bands a year. Go ahead and put your hands up. Put your hands up. You voted for Kamala Harris. Oh, okay. My fault. Good, because I don't think people understand that voting for Trump means you will lose an additional $4,000 to $5,000 a year. If Trump is elected, he plans to add a 60% tariff on all imports from China. Anything in your house that says made in China, take the price that you paid for and add 60%. He plans to add a 20% tariff on all imports coming from every other country. With Kamala Harris's opportunity economy, she's not hitting you with the sales tax of doom. She's providing tax cuts to the middle and working class, so that means you will save an additional $4,000 to $5,000 a year. Plus the $25,000 she's literally handing to new homebuyers. Like, you know who to vote for in this November's election. It's Kamala Harris. Paid for by FFPAC, ffpac.org. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm with Skip Jennings from Jennings Chevrolet Buick GMC in Chambersburg. Skip, all we hear about on the news is how prices are going up on just about everything. What's your take?
Ben, there's no question that we've seen unprecedented inflation. But in my almost 40 years in the new car business, I've never seen a time where we have so many affordable new vehicles.
That seems impossible. Give me some examples.
Ben, we have new Colorado pickup trucks starting at under 31 grand. New Equinoxes starting at under 27 grand, and the all-new Chevrolet Trax starting at under 21 grand.
Those prices are hard to believe. What about Buick prices?
We have Envisions for under 34,000, Envistas for under 28,000, and Encore GXs for under 22,000.
Those are crazy low prices in today's world. How about financing rates?
We have 5.9% for 84 months on all new HD Silverados and Sierras.
That sure helps to make the payments affordable on those heavy-duty trucks.
Great prices, great financing options, and great selection make October the month to buy a new vehicle. Stop in today at Jennings Chevrolet Buick GMC. I promise you won't be disappointed.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice, winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards.
Our next guest today, somebody that is a friend of ours, a personal friend of ours. We have Tim Hafer from Hafer's Guns. Tim, thanks so much for being here today on Let's Talk Tri-State.
Thank you for having me.
And so we're here to talk about Hafer's Guns, and all types of questions revolving around that. Let's walk us through your locations first.
Our original location is in Maryland. It's out on Route 40 West, going towards Clear Spring, 15411 National Pike, Hagerstown, Maryland. Our 10th anniversary for that location is today, as I recall.
Oh,
really? Congratulations!
Happy anniversary!
Thank you.
And what are some of the?
Well, wait a minute. Now we didn't go through the other location.
I'm sorry.
How could you forget, Tim?
The second location is our West Virginia location, which is bigger, by a big shot.
Beautiful facility.
Yep.
It is nice.
Right off 81, right there in wonderful Falling Waters, West Virginia, 6541 Falling Waters, Williamsport Pike, Falling Waters, West Virginia.
Yep.
What I love about you and your wife, Becca, is you guys are so knowledgeable, and any question that anybody has, you're able to answer it, and you're also very patient and explain things very well. Because I've actually had Tim shoot with me before.
Same.
Oh, you did too?
Tim trained me.
Yeah, it's just super patient.
Try our best.
Well, there's no sense in being stressful in the situation when someone's learning how to properly hold, load, unload, fire a weapon.
Correct, because a lot of new gun owners, we've learned that it's a scary situation for most that's never held a gun, finally taking the right steps to say, I want to be able to purchase one or hold one or shoot one.
Mm-hmm. And I know your wife is part of the Arsenal of Angels, which is an all-women shooting group, and I'm sure that this kind of situation happens before, but one of our sales girls here, she got a gun after a relative passed away. They left it to her, sat in a box forever because she didn't know how to use it, and it was an older gun, and so we joined the Arsenal of Angels, and she was able to get it out and learn how to shoot it, which I'm sure happens more often than we think.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so your products and your services, if someone was walking into Hafer's for the first time, what would they find?
You would find knowledgeable, friendly staff, welcoming to you, eager to be able to help and teach.
I think a lot of people, when they think about possibly purchasing a weapon for the first time, and maybe even subsequent times, but at the very least the first time, it can probably seem like a daunting, overwhelming task to do. They may want to do it. They have the idea. Well, maybe it's for whatever reason would convict them to want to even entertain purchasing a firearm. So when they come into your store, the one thing that I do know from personal experience, because you knew I was coming when I came in, but I witnessed while I was waiting for you to finish up with the customer, and it's to Katie's point, the patience, but the kindness and the empathy for when someone comes in, because I think one of the first questions I heard asked a couple times, because two people came in, was, "It's your first time, looking to purchase a firearm," And you immediately, that's a great question to ask because it immediately sets the tone, and your staff knows that I'm asking this because I want to know who am I dealing with, what am I, it's no different than buying a car, really.
Correct.
What are you looking to get? All these different questions. So when someone comes in, what can you say to potential customers who are listening who may be in the market for a firearm that can put their mind at ease on this otherwise daunting task?
We feel that it's the most important to get to know the customer because everybody has different wants or needs for why they're stepped into the locations.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you this too. When it comes to, we hear a lot of concealed carry. Okay.
Correct.
What people may not realize is every state is different.
Yes.
When it comes to firearm laws. Now so take us through, when does maybe not necessarily for concealed carry, when does it go from state to federal, federal to state? When do those different agencies get involved?
It basically follows down to the state law. There is no federal law on concealed carry. It comes down to the states.
Mm.
Depending on the state, how they see it. West Virginia has constitutional carry, where every law-abiding citizen has a right to be able to protect themselves, do concealed carry without a training course or without a permit. The state of Maryland requires an individual law-abiding citizen to go through certain training and to apply for the Maryland carry permit, which can be a daunting task, but that's one reason we feel we make it very easy for that individual.
Have you, and I think you said this before when you and I talked a few years back, but isn't there something that in the course or courses that you offer that can help a person attain their Maryland carry that makes that process a bit easier or more likely to be approved?
We have the same rules and regulations that we need to follow through anybody that teaches or are certified to teach the Maryland course. Mm-hmm. How I feel that we go above and beyond is we realize that, great, you want to protect your life or maybe your loved ones. So now you want to have a concealed carry. It's not just about strapping on a gun and going out there and saving the world. That's not what it's about. It's to be able to protect your life and your loved ones. What we also do is don't give you a course that says keep your finger off the trigger, don't point it in a safe direction, hey, you're doing great. We feel that you're obligated to be able to know more than just that. We have lawyers come in. We have a previous Washington County prosecutor that comes in at time and time to be able to give how a lawyer would see the law. We have local law enforcement come in and give you their thought process, their opinion, how they want things to be done. We also make you feel, God forbid, if you've had to shoot someone, protect your life or loved ones, what do you do now?
That's a life-changing moment, I would imagine.
That is correct, because that's an instant that a lot of people don't think. It's great that individuals want to be able to protect their life. That's an absolute. But what happens next? Because more than likely you're going to get sued, if not arrested, in some cases. You have to be able to think before you can be able to brandish the firearm to protect your life.
Mm-hmm. To the point where now I'm hearing a lot about concealed carry insurance.
Correct, yes.
Is that a relatively new thing, or has that been around for a while?
That's been around for a while. There's a lot of great companies out there. We promote U.S. Law Shield. They've been a great company to deal with. My wife, a lot smarter than me, has researched it all, and she feels that that's the best one for us to put our name on.
And that's what you said about if somebody, if you're going to get sued, they're coming after everything.
That's correct. You're going to get sued civilly.
Yeah.
Seeing that you guys have a store in 2 different states, is it difficult to keep up with the legislature and the laws that are surrounding guns in 2 different states?
It is. You need connections. You need to be able to speak. You need to have an open mind of the politicians, the lawmakers, law enforcement. You have to understand where they're coming from as well. The biggest thing is you have to understand the individuals, and everybody needs to work together to be able to hopefully come to an agreement where individuals can protect their life.
Mm-hmm.
What is one thing you would say that you wish the average person knew, not just about firearms? What was one thing you wish the average person knew? That maybe is a narrative that they hear a lot, but the reality is this.
Training. I've been shooting guns ever since I was a little kid, and it's been instilled. Obviously, the number one thing is keep your finger off the trigger, always point in a safe direction.
And know what's behind your target.
Correct, absolutely. People always say, "Where's the safety on the gun?" And I tell them, "You're the safety."
Yeah, I remember you saying
You're
that.
the one that needs to control this firearm. You're not allowed to let the firearm control you. There's a lot of good things out there on the internet. There's a lot of things that I just scratch and shake my head about. Be leery of some of the things. Always seek out multiple individuals and try to find the common area of where the ground meets that, yeah, that should be it.
I also think is be willing to ask questions. Be vulnerable to ask questions, like stop and see Tim and Becca, and educate yourself. As with anything, you would, I hate to go back to a car, but you would ideally look at the gas mileage on a car. Is this going to suit my needs? Is it enough car for me? Is it too much car for me? Is it a sports car when I need a truck? So all of these ways that you can educate yourself for these things, something as serious as a firearm, owning a firearm, I would imagine, I can't imagine someone saying, well, I don't need to ask questions or training, I just want to go buy a weapon.
And that's the salesman through their training, knowledge, and experience, and something that we boast for their training as well. Because when they come in, they have to know the customer. And with a new customer, a lot of things, they don't even know the question to ask.
Right.
And they really don't think and don't understand to be able to ask certain questions. And that's why we feel that our salesmen go above and beyond to try to help the individual to be able to make the right purchase.
And I know a little of this personally just because I've worked with your wife quite a bit. But what are the training courses? Do you offer training courses?
Yes. Through our Shoot Safe, Tim Gargano is the head lead instructor there. He offers Maryland CCW, West Virginia CCW, because a West Virginia resident is capable of getting a concealed carry permit. There's benefits for them there. You can also get an out-of-state resident West Virginia concealed carry permit. Offers NRA basic pistol, offers concealed carry permit. I apologize, I probably said that. Introduction to pistol as well as the basic pistol. Mm-hmm. Also a rifle course as well.
Mm-hmm. When you started out, I know right now your name and logo says Hafer's Guns. When you started out Hafer's Gunsmithing, do you still offer any services regarding the gunsmithing, up to and cleaning, repair, anything like that?
Yes, honestly, that's what I started the business as. It was Hafer's Gunsmithing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Gunsmithings are way different than armors. And I apologize, as you said, cleaning, that's an armorer's job.
Okay.
Replacing sights, that's an armorer's job. Well, we have machinists that can run mills and lathes. So we can thread barrels, thread from muzzle brakes, slide cuts. We can actually take raw material, and make it into. Now, we are a manual machinist. We don't have any CNC, so we are a lot more customized and for what the individual wants.
Right.
But stock repairs, recoil pads, true gunsmithing work. We've sent most of the salesmen to armorers classes, so they have just a basics concept of introduction to how firearms works. Glock armorers course. It's kind of your basic Mickey Mouse type towards the process.
Do you ever have people come in with a gun that's jammed and they're not sure how to unjam it, or maybe a little afraid to do that?
We've seen all kinds of stuff coming through the door.
Yeah, I bet.
What is so not talking about firearms here, but in your store, I think this was one of the most surprising things that when I went there for the first time is when you remove the firearm counters and you look behind you, there is a store full of anything you could possibly imagine regarding all things shooting sports. And just take us through your store in the next minute that we have here. Walk us through a tour of things that you can get for your weapons or even past weapons.
It's funny you mention that because I had a customer once tell me that if you can't find it at Hafer's, you don't need it.
There you go, yeah.
One thing I think we pride in is having something for everyone. I personally don't focus on one style of firearm. As a firearm enthusiast since I was a very young kid, with my grandfather and my father, I love to shoot. I love to hunt, but it got to the point of how does this thing work? So the gunsmithing led into that. I love everything from a flintlock all the way down to a machine gun and everything in between. So that's what I want to offer to every customer: air rifles, 22s, pistols, shotguns to hunt with, shotguns to protect your life with, shotguns for sporting, rifles that you can shoot long range, close range. We also have everything that attaches to them: scopes, rings, bases, a wide variety of quality products. I mostly test everything or look into, I just don't look at a product and say, man, I can offer this and make money.
Right.
That's not what I do. Everybody wants us to sell some sort of product that there's chemicals, cleaning supplies. We'll actually use them and test them before we actually put them out on the rack.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been doing this for quite some time. A lot of the products that I've come to know and use through gunsmithing, mounting, we've used in the past for our own personal use, so we know that that's a quality product.
Yep.
It's kind of hard staking because you can get a lot of cheap stuff on the internet, and it's sad to see people come in heartbroken because they spent their hard-earned money on something that they didn't really understand.
Yeah, that can ruin a great investment.
That is correct.
Great investment.
That is correct.
Well, I know the website is hafersguns.com, 2 locations, National Pike and National Pike Williamsport Pike. Thank you so much. And Tim, make sure you tell Becca we said hi.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And
Thank you.
We love you coming in today, and of course we're a big fan of Hafers and always have
Oh,
been.
and
But
by the way, give us a pew pew.
Pew pew. It's funny because there'll be customers come in the door. Hey, pew pew.
Love it.
I like Becca's. It's so cute. It's like pew pew.
Yes.
Coming up, we're going to take another look at news and sports, and it's all powered by the DRB Group, the right partner for your real estate development.
The Candy Bowl poll is back. Sweet Notes Bakery and the town of Williamsport Main Street want to know, what is your favorite Halloween candy? Vote today at 921thegoat.com for your chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. Go to the best Halloween candy bracket on the website and vote for your favorite Halloween candy today. It's easy, and you could win a $100 Visa gift card. Fill your calendar this fall with visits to the town of Williamsport for ghost walks, shopping, and more.
Want to save money on home energy costs? Make the right choice. Contact HomeRight Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, winner in Best of the Tri-State 2024. HomeRight Windows and Doors, Waynesboro, your best local window and door provider in the Tri-State. Today's replacement windows can really make a difference in your heating and cooling costs. They can also add to your home's resale value, and you could earn tax credits. To schedule a free in-home estimate, Google HomeRight Waynesboro or find them on Facebook. HomeRight Windows and Doors, Waynesboro, the right choice. The perfect fall getaway is right off I-81. The town of Williamsport invites you to the best stop along the Potomac. The C&O Canal is beautiful this time of year, but there's so much more. Come out to Town Hall Fridays for the Haunted History Walks. If you love history, stop by the Town Museum for free on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, operated by Williamsport Area Historical Association in the Tenant House beside Springfield Barn. While there, book your next family event or reunion. Your local getaway in the tri-state area this fall is Williamsport, Maryland. Rest and relax on the river.
Hey, it's Cody from Bell Jewelers. Mark your calendars for Friday, October 25th and Saturday, October 26th. It's our customer appreciation event. We're offering 30% off store-wide with normal exclusions applying. You'll find incredible savings on diamonds, gemstones, watches, and so much more. Plus, we're doing giveaways on both days because we want to show our appreciation for you, our amazing customers. Whether you've shopped with us for years or it's your first time in, we can't wait to celebrate with you. Stop by Bell Jewelers on Norland Avenue in Chambersburg, your diamond destination.
The JR Sport Brief on the Infinity Sports Network.
Am I going to favor them to win the championship this year? The answer is no. That'll be the greatest miracle because this is the New York Jets. And unfortunately, what's most likely is that one day Aaron Rodgers packs his bags and says, I want to leave. The New York Jets don't have a coach. And the New York Jets are going to have to start from scratch and suck for many more years because another Green Bay Packers experiment quarterback screwed them. This is JR of the JR Sport Brief on 92.1 The GOAT.
Contractors, builders, masons, home improvement do-it-yourselfers. Are you in the market for a pellet wood or gas stove insert? Now is the time to visit LT Rushstone and Fireplace. It's their pre-season blowout sale. Take advantage of the year's best prices on products and installation. Stop by the showroom on the Buchanan Trail East between Waynesboro and Greencastle to see their amazing displays. Find the products that will make your upcoming projects showstoppers and take advantage of pre-season blowout prices. LT Rushstone and Fireplace. Experts that can help you to complete your construction or renovation projects with the best products, the best options, and the best service. Now open Tuesday and Wednesday until 8 p.m. for your convenience. LT Rushstone and Fireplace. Buchanan Trail East between Waynesboro and Greencastle. Online at ltrushstone.com.
LT Rushstone and Fireplace, making dreams come true.
In a world where storms rage and roofs are left defenseless, one veteran hero stands tall, protecting homes from disaster. It's not just any hero, it's Mighty Dog Roofing, your neighborhood hero, ready to fight leaks, storms, and more. Whether it's repairs, replacements, or inspections, Mighty Dog is there to save the day with cutting-edge technology and unbeatable service. Head to MightyDogRoofing.com for more information and to schedule your rescue. Mighty Dog Roofing, because every home deserves a hero.
Whether you want to keep it cool,
Hey, grab me a popsicle?
keep it hot,
That smells amazing.
or keep it clean, we've got the appliance you need at prices that sizzle.
At Springview Appliance and Mattress, we have a full line of appliances and mattresses at the best prices and the personal service to help you find the perfect appliance and mattress for your needs. Springview Appliance and Mattress, Guilford Springs Road in Chambersburg. Life made easier.
Shelters are full across the country, and the Humane Society of Washington County is no exception. Hundreds of animals are in care between the shelter and foster homes. They need your help. Please consider adopting a pet or volunteer. Help walk dogs, wash and fold laundry, distribute food from the pet food bank. Have a garage, warehouse, barn, or other suitable shelter? Adopt a working cat. You can save a life. Adopt a pet from the Humane Society of Washington County, and remember to have your pets spayed or neutered. Learn more ways to help at hswcmd.org.
The world was a lot different in 2006. No smartphones, no electric cars. This is how we connected to the internet. And back then, Bob Casey wasn't siding with the far-left liberals. But nearly 2 decades in Washington has changed Bob Casey. Now Casey's voted to let biological men compete against our girls in their sports, and supported letting biological men into girls' bathrooms and locker rooms. Letting men change next to our girls? That's insane. Worse, Casey introduced a bill to force hospitals to perform sex change operations. Forcing hospitals to perform sex changes against their beliefs? What is Casey thinking? On top of it all, Bob Casey voted to raise middle-class taxes. Your family struggles, but Casey, he's for they, them. Bring normal back to Washington and fire Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Well, if you're wondering how the Mummers Parade is shaping up for this weekend, I'll save you the trouble for researching it for yourself, Katie. How about that? Alsatia Club members are bullish on this Saturday's 97th Mummers Parade in downtown Hagerstown. After having to cancel the parade for 2 years in 2020 and 2021, obviously due to COVID, and with fewer and smaller participating units the past 2 years, parade chairman James McLeaf said the parade is back up to 200 units, including several bands. The Baltimore Ravens Marching Band is going to lead this year's Mummers Parade.
Wow.
Parade is this Saturday, October 26th, in downtown Hagerstown along South Potomac Street.
This is a huge, huge event.
I remember when I was a kid with the Mummers Parade, the big deal was each year it was alternated between South Hagerstown High School and North Hagerstown High School which band would lead the parade. So whichever band led the parade, then the other band brought up the end of the parade, and then next year it flipped. And I don't know, because it was just this, it was a standard every year thing. You knew who was going to do it from year to year, but the pride that the schools had in the fact that, oh yeah, we lead the parade this year. Well, yes, because you didn't last year. And I say this in all love because I went to one of the schools, South Hagerstown High School, and I never understood this
Like you're going to do it next year.
Yeah, exactly.
we're
You know,
gonna
and in
flip-flop it.
364 days, the other school's going to do it. So what's the big deal?
You said 200?
Yeah,
There's
200 units.
How long does that parade last?
It can go a long
few
while.
hours, yeah, 3, 4.
If I remember correctly, when I was a kid for this, we sat just past, so there's the grandstand area where they had the judges and all that kind of stuff, and that was right in front of Bester Elementary. About a block past that, toward the end of the parade, is about where we would sit. And I remember it would get to the point where it would get so long that you just start packing up and going. And
sure.
the parade's still going on. And by that time, too, back then, there were probably even more than this, 200. And the people in the parade were just sucking wind.
Well, they're tired, they're hungry. That's a long time to be doing
and
that.
And they pass by us, and there I am chomping down hot dogs and hot chocolate.
Of course, getting ready to go to Crumpy's Donuts.
There you go.
Like you do.
I already went. What are you talking about?
That's true. Well, speaking of Hagerstown, the Downtown Hagerstown Main Street program, they're looking for local businesses, artisans, and makers to participate in the annual Handmade Hagerstown Holiday Market on November 23rd. Say that 5 times fast. The last day to apply is this Friday, the 25th. You can participate in the market, or if you want some more information, you can get online to mainstreethagerstown.org and that /holiday market. So if you have a local business, artisan, or anything handmade, you can definitely get involved in the holiday market. The deadline is this Friday, and the market will be on the 23rd.
And we're going to have, coming up, I believe it's November 8th, we're going to have Brittany from downtown Hagerstown in again to talk about some things. So I want to pick her brain about this because I didn't even realize that this was happening.
Well, this is great. This is a great way to get some Christmas shopping done.
I would think so.
That's what I love these types of events because they're unique items. It's something local. You're supporting local, and you get some really great gifts as well. So everybody wins.
And I love these types of things because it's, to your point, handmade, but it's community. Mm-hmm. It is something to do in downtown Hagerstown, which is my hometown. And I love, being in Waynesboro now, I love when they have the holiday market and then the farmers market.
Oh, the farmers market
in downtown Waynesboro. So these things are just really cool. I remember years ago there was a company, a restaurant that came into Hagerstown. They've since closed down, but they were German, and Hagerstown is a very rich German history. And their goal was to have a Kris Kringle market, and it's something that I encourage anybody if you love Christmas. I wish we had something like this around here. Is Google Kris Kringle market in Germany. And it is...
Yeah, I know about the Kris Kringle market.
A massive to-do. And they even made, I think, a couple of Hallmark movies regarding this type thing. But they have wanted to do that, and I was all in. So you just let me know what you need me to do, and sadly they didn't get to do it because I think it was a permitting issue. But I wish someone would do that, and maybe this is, leading to that.
Yeah, segue for it, if you will. Well, let's go ahead and check in with sports with Andy.
Lots of playoff action in Franklin County last night for volleyball. The Class 4A first round took place, and Chambersburg fell to Governor Mifflin. Manheim Township also got a victory over Waynesboro. And tonight, number 9 Susquehannock will take on Greencastle Antrim. That match starting at 7. And number 7 Shalom Christian will take on number 2 Covenant Christian. That match also starts at 7. In boys soccer, for Franklin County sports, Shippensburg takes on number 5 Cocalico tonight at Memorial Park. That match kicks off at 7. For Washington County sports and flag football last night, Smithsburg took down South Hagerstown, winning by a score of 32-12. In boys soccer action, Maryland 1A West Region 2 quarterfinals took place last night, and Clear Spring beat Smithsburg 3-1. Tuscarora won against South Hagerstown 4-1. And coming up on Friday, St. James will battle in the MAC quarterfinals. In girls soccer action on Wednesday night, Linganore beat North Hagerstown 2-0, and Westminster came out on top, blanking South Hagerstown 9-0. Winters Mill won 8-0 against Williamsport in the Maryland 2A West Region 1 quarterfinals. And in the Maryland 1A West Region 2 quarterfinals, Clear Spring beat Catoctin 5-0. Coming up tonight in girls soccer, St. James goes to Elizabeth Seton. That match starts at 4:15 p.m. In Washington County volleyball action, according to the Herald Mail, Smithsburg toppled Allegheny last night 3-0. James Wood knocked off Williamsport by a score of 3-0. And St. James beat Middletown 3-0, winning by scores of 25-20, 25-19, and a close one with 25-23. Coming up tonight, Berkeley Springs goes to Hancock. That match starts at 6:30. Oakdale travels to Clear Spring. That match begins at 7. And Brunswick travels to South Hagerstown. That match begins at 7.
The JR Sport Brief on the Infinity Sports Network.
Am I going to favor them to win the championship this year? The answer is no. That'll be the greatest miracle because this is the New York Jets. And unfortunately, what's most likely is that one day Aaron Rodgers packs his bags and says, I want to leave. The New York Jets don't have a coach. And the New York Jets are going to have to start from scratch and suck for many more years because another Green Bay Packers experiment quarterback screwed them. This is JR of the JR Sport Brief on 92.1 The GOAT.
Flood, fire, smoke and water damage, odor or mold mitigation. Whatever the disaster, Rainbow Restoration can make it disappear. Their fully trained and certified professionals will get your home or business back on track. Pioneers in the restoration business, Rainbow Restoration's cleanup experts are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No matter the project, Rainbow Restoration in Waynesboro will get it done right. A proud neighborly company. Find them online at rainbowrestores.com.
There is always a reason to stop by at Breakaway 2 Sports Lounge on Pennsylvania Avenue in Hagerstown. Homestyle Mondays bring comfort food favorites that'll remind you of home. On Tuesdays, it's time for tacos, margaritas, and karaoke. Wednesdays, amazing burgers and fries for just $8. And on Thursdays, it's all about dollar wings. Drink specials every Friday and Saturday night. Now serving breakfast Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Sundays are for football at Breakaway 2. They've got the NFL Sunday ticket, so you won't miss a single game. Breakaway 2, stop by, grab a bite, shoot some pool, watch your favorite sports, listen to live music, have a great meal, visit the full-service liquor store, and relax on the deck. And this month in the warehouse, Friday, October 25th, is the Zombie Prom Halloween party with DJ D. Lee, horror drink specials, costume contest, and more. Head over to Breakaway 2 Sports Lounge where you can eat, drink, break. Pennsylvania Avenue in Hagerstown.
At Jersey Mike's, it's just done differently. They take pride in making your sub, whether it's a hot sub or a cold sub. You see them slice it or grill it fresh right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. Visit them today and find your favorite go-to sub or try them all. Jersey Mike's Chambersburg on Walker Road and now open in Gettysburg on Natural Springs Road in the Giant Plaza. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro. The Right Choice, voted 2024 Best of the Tri-State.
Our third guest today, we have the director of the Washington County Museum of Fine Arts, Sarah Hall. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
And I feel horrible saying this, but I did not know that this was down in Hagerstown.
So we're right in City Park, and it's amazing how many people tell me, that they have never been to the museum, they didn't know there was a museum, or they stumbled upon the museum because they were walking in the park or following a highway sign. But we have been there for 93 years now. We opened in 1931.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. When I was growing up, we would go to City Park a lot, and I remember you see the museum, and it was like, you can't go in there. When your kid's like, we don't dare go in that building.
I hear really wonderful stories about kids who do come in, and technically we say kids 12 and under, you're supposed to be accompanied by a parent. But I also know that for some kids, discovering the museum opens up a whole new world for them.
Sure.
And as long as they are well behaved, I think our guards usually don't, interfere too much. It's kind of a safe haven, and I've heard wonderful stories from people that I've met who have said, I grew up near there, I didn't have a lot of supervision. I found the museum, and I kind of saw a different way of being.
Absolutely.
You were saying off air as well that it's kind of a rarity,
yes.
A museum such as this. I can't think of anything near here that other than the big things in DC
right,
and
exactly.
the big cities. But as far as just an area like ours, it is unique.
We are the only fine arts museum for about 65 miles. We are nationally accredited. We have a really strong, important collection, wonderful pieces, things that are internationally and nationally significant, as well as a lot of Maryland artists and a lot of local stories that we tell through our collection as well. But yeah, I feel really strongly that particularly when we're talking about kids up in Pennsylvania and in West Virginia, areas that it's further away from DC, they all should be coming to this museum because it's a great learning experience and it opens eyes.
And it's free.
We are free. Many museums now charge, $15 to $20 per person admission. And I don't want to sort of belittle them for that because,
They have to make
it's
money.
yes, exactly.
Sure.
We have to put together an income. And so the way we do that, philanthropy is huge. People becoming members of the museum, donors supporting our work, state grants, other kinds of granting agencies, a little bit through, retail sales at the museum shop, some facility rentals, weddings and things. But it's, we came through COVID strong because we weren't depending on that gate. Museums that were depending on sort of like a ticket admission had a much harder time, but because our money comes in through a variety of ways, and it allows us to be free. It's wonderful.
How many objects and paintings and artifacts do you have?
We usually say, between 6,500 and 7,000, and I give that we count. We do have things very carefully recorded, but sometimes things get double numbered, or you have multiple things given one ID number or something like that. So. It's maybe not as accurate a number as I should be giving you.
Ask this before I forget. What is the most valuable piece that you have?
They're all valuable. I'm not, we're not really allowed to talk about value, but for security purposes.
Sure. Give me a number.
Truth is that everything is irreplaceable. That we have theoretically. We have some really major pieces. Somebody once said, "What's your Mona Lisa?" And I think there's kind of a couple of options. We have a Norman Rockwell, and that's a wonderful, wonderful story of our museum director, Bruce Etchison, at the time writing to Norman Rockwell and saying, our museum is a perfect home for one of your paintings, and actually, getting at a good price because of communicating directly with the artist. So we have a Norman Rockwell, the oculist, all of the charm and everything you expect to see in Norman Rockwell. The painting that really knocked me out when I first visited, and I interviewed for the job in the depths of COVID, was the very first day you could travel between states. I came in and I was given a tour of the museum, which was completely locked down, and there is this fabulous Thomas Moran landscape. He's in New Jersey looking at Manhattan, and it's an industrial landscape, which is really unusual for this artist who's known for painting Yosemite and all sorts of grandiose views of like unspoiled nature in the West, and this is an industrial view, and it's just breathtaking. It's a beautiful painting.
Take us through I haven't been, so take us through how many different rooms or exhibits do you have?
I think we actually have 8 different galleries. We usually have 2 different temporary exhibitions up at a time. So you can come in and you can see our permanent collection. We have old master paintings. We have a series of galleries we call American Narratives that goes from late 18th century through to generally mid 20th century. We need to start buying some more contemporary things. The kids who come from HCC are looking for more contemporary things to write papers about. But then we always have 2 temporary exhibitions up at a time. Right now we have Floating Beauty, Women in the Art of Ukiyo-e, which is that term in Japanese means floating world, and it was actually the pleasure districts in Edo, which is now Tokyo, where people went to see plays and visit courtesans, and so they're wonderful. If you think of Japanese prints, that's what you're picturing is prints from this time period.
What are some upcoming events that you have?
Well, I think I'm technically supposed to be here to promote our treasure sale.
I know you
which
do
is
have the
one.
treasure,
It
yes.
is one of. So I talked about income. The treasure sale is actually one of our biggest fundraisers of the year, and we have a volunteer group, the Singer Society. That's over 100 folks who donate their time to helping the museum succeed and supporting our work. And this is their biggest endeavor of the year. So I call it a win-win-win. So people donate to the treasure sale, people who are downsizing, people who are just cleaning the garage. They donate to the treasure sale, and so they feel good because they're donating to benefit the museum. The folks in the Singer Society go through and clean and price it. I mean, it's months. They do this beginning in June. Yeah. And then all of this stuff comes into the atrium of the museum. It is like the biggest, best sort of high-end flea market. you will ever go to. So the preview party is next Friday, the 1st, from 5 to 8. We do that's ticketed. We charge $50 for non-members at the museum, $45 for members, and you get sort of first crack at things, right? So we have wine and hors d'oeuvres, but you also can just buy whatever you want on Friday night and kind of get in there before the crowds.
Katie, just come for the wine and hors d'oeuvres?
You don't have to buy.
We talked about this. We talked about this recently
we did.
in this event. So I love hearing all these more in-depth details.
It's a lot of fun. So I shop there too. So, I bought a pasta maker. I have bought, different kinds of dishware. I've bought prints and paintings. I bought a fancy vintage coat for when I want to be glamorous at the museum. So you'll find all sorts of things there, and it's lots of fun. And then it's open to the public on Saturday. Let me get the hours right, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, November 2nd. Anybody can come in, no admission. And then on Sunday, from 1 to 4, they do some markdowns. So not everything, there are some things that are just too good to make too much of a deal, but we do $25 a bag for the other kinds of merchandise. So we provide the bags so that they're all consistent size, but people can go through and kind of find what they love. And then we go down on Tuesday the 5th. So we're closed Monday the 4th, but on Tuesday the 5th, that drops down to $15 a bag, and we're open 10 to 1, closing out the sale. And so it is one of our biggest fundraisers. We generally make about $40,000 for this. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Is it cash only, or are there?
No, you can use cards. Yeah, absolutely. And we have a whole team. I mean, the volunteers put so much work into this. It is an amazingly well-oiled machine.
It sounds
and
like
then the whole staff is there for the weekend supporting as well.
Do all the artifacts in the treasure sale come from this county? Are they local?
No, actually, this is funny because I came from Pittsburgh, and there is a friend of ours in Pittsburgh who always sends things with me. Figures out a way to get them to me. So, the majority of people who are donating are in this area and relatively close. And actually, for large things, we'll send somebody. The cutoff has happened this year. October 15th was the cutoff for taking in material. But we help people. Like if people are downsizing, we've gone in and helped people.
Absolutely, I'm sure as you're cleaning out a house, you find all these heirlooms and something that you think, I bet this is worth something, and you're not sure what to do with it. You don't just want to.
It's as I said, it's like win-win-win, because the person who's donating is supporting the museum, feels good, gets something good done. The person who's buying is happy, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and the museum is benefiting. Yeah,
that's amazing.
When it comes to the sales, this is a question I didn't even think that I would ask until it just popped in my head. The museum, because you were saying about how maybe trying to get some contemporary pieces and maybe a goal of yours, but does the museum ever sell items, or is it frowned upon?
So let me tell you a little bit about. I love talking to people about museum work and the way we do our jobs. So when something enters our collection, it's a formal process called accessioning. It gets assigned a specific inventory number. We have an electronic database. Sometimes museums do decide, like, okay, we have 30 Renoirs, we don't need 30 Renoirs. Or you know what, we just bought a better Renoir. So we were going to keep the good example and, de-accession. So the formal process of removing something from your collection is called de-accessioning, and you have to justify it. You have to write a report explaining why it's being de-accessioned. You have to go to your collections committee of your board. Everyone has to approve that. Once it's removed, the rules are, if you sell something from your collection, that money has to be used to build the collection. You are not allowed to use it for operational expenses. And when we go through an annual audit, your collection is never valued. It is not considered a financial asset, and that way it's completely protected.
So you do.
We can, and in fact, we just sold a piece. It was actually a pretty nice piece, but it was redundant. We had another better piece by the artist. We were told by Sotheby's, the auction house, that there is a market for this artist in London. So we sent it over to London and auctioned it. We made about $24,000, and I'm really excited that we have made a pledge that we will look for work by a living underrepresented artist to add to the, or maybe 2 or 3 pieces for $24,000.
So do you typically let another entity handle the selling process, or so it's not like you?
It
would put out
really
a notice
depends. It really depends. Sometimes the works are not particularly valuable, or they're in really bad condition, and so that's part of the deaccession process. It's a kind of nasty sounding word, disposal. How you're going to what happens to the piece is, does it just go to a local auction house? Does it? And there are rules, like board members and staff members are not allowed to buy, because you could obviously be using your personal interest to be to get something like, oh, gee, the museum doesn't need that anymore. So there are a lot of rules surrounding that. Sometimes you transfer something to another museum or nonprofit that is a better home for it.
Even a trade, perhaps.
Yeah, when I was working in Pittsburgh, somebody donated a number of things. We had to take everything in their donation, and one of them was a ticket booth from a movie theater, which we had absolutely no need for. It sat in the basement, and we ended up transferring it to someone who was restoring a historic theater. So you can sometimes find a better home for things. And in the worst case, maybe something is really badly damaged. Maybe it's a forgery and it's going to cause issues on the market. In very, very rare cases, items are actually destroyed rather than going back out into the market.
After you wrap up the treasure sale, then you have holiday nights at the museum?
Yes, so we started this last year. It occurred to me one day, because I live on historic South Prospect Street, and right near the museum, and they do the holiday lights in City Park, and it occurred to me the first winter I was here, lots of people are going down to see those lights. We should try to be open some in the evenings for when families are going down to look at the lights. So last year we created holiday Fridays or December Fridays, and we were open. It all depends on the timing of Christmas, really, how many Fridays you get in December before the holiday. But this year we have City Park tree lighting is December 6th. That is always really super busy.
Yes.
I would say if you want to really spend time with the art, it is not the night to come, because sometimes we'll get 1,500 people in the museum, and trying to give them, because a lot of them are first-time museum visitors too, trying to give them a good experience. But that's light up night, and then the 13th, we're doing a sort of kid-focused evening with a hot chocolate bar. We'll have some storybook reading, some kid-focused collection experiences. We've been doing, because of the Japanese print show, we've been doing things like origami and fish prints and things like that connect to Japanese culture with kids. And then the next night, which would be the 20th, we have, we're open till 8, and anybody can come. I'm not saying don't bring kids on the 20th, but we're going to do like a Prosecco cocktail and adult level sort of tours of the exhibitions.
You were really hitting on all the experiences for Katie.
I don't know how I haven't been here before, but
it is
plenty of experiences for me to partake in.
Museums, I've seen it. I've been working in museums 30 years, and they still remain wonderful places to go for contemplation and thoughtfulness. Absolutely. And being reminded of beauty and the accomplishments of mankind or personkind, but they also have become much more social and community hubs. And so we try to bring people together, and we connect the art too. So people are learning a little bit, they're having a good time, they're spending time with family, they're having conversations in the museum. Mm-hmm. It's a trend, and it's really important. I think museums are kind of becoming community centers.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that with us, and make sure you check out the website. Can you just plug the website for us quickly?
Sure, WCMFA.org.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sarah, for spending some time with
us
today.
Thank you both.
Tri-State. Coming up, we're going to take a look at news and sports, all powered by Legends Bar in Chambersburg. You can satisfy your sports fix at Legends Bar with game day specials and cold brews. You can find them on Hollywell Avenue in Chambersburg.
When their world isn't safe, they need someone to notice, to wonder and worry, to be their voice. If you suspect child abuse in any way, report it. You can be their hero. Your call can change their world.
Report suspected abuse by calling 1-800-932-0313. or visit keepkidssafe.pa.gov for more information. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Hey, it's Hunter from Simple Pleasures. Did you know that we sell THCA products now too? From flower, pre-rolls, vapes, edibles, concentrates, we have it all. So come try some of the best flower in town for just $10 a gram and $30 a nate. But if you'd rather grow your own, then you'll love our clones, starting at $25 and our seeds starting at just $6. We have everything to make your growing journey effortless and affordable. So come see us during our new store hours, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 9, Saturday, 9 to 10, and 10 to 7 on Sundays. And check out the new Smoke Me Out podcast while you're at it. Peace.
Everybody's athletic journey is different. Some athletes might find themselves injured, and others are looking to get back into their favorite activity. At Meritus Sports Medicine, our expert team will support the unique needs of athletes of all ages and levels, from youth to professional. Conveniently located at the Valley Mall, our new facility boasts leading-edge technology and the compassionate local care everyone deserves. Our expert team will develop individual treatment plans guided by the needs and goals of each athlete. To learn more, visit meritushealth.com/sportsmedicine.
This is Eric at Hagerstown Ford. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hagerstown Ford, it is that convenient. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hagerstown Ford will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time at a car dealership playing the dumb back and forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want and get your new ride delivered to you at no risk.
See dealer for details.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
I feel the same way that I felt yesterday. I feel like this was a game that the Cowboys should have won.
They did.
They did. I didn't think they were spectacular, but that's okay. You don't have to do style points. This isn't college. We're not trying to impress the BCS. This was good for them to get away with a win. And I still have them not making the playoffs this year. Hey, this is Maggie Gray on 92.1 The GOAT, the Tri-State home for local sports and news.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Let's talk Tri-State. Well, one thing I can say is Katie has a lot of gas, typically. But I can also tell you that your gas prices may have gone down. Regional gas prices fell last week and reached an average of $3.18 per gallon.
Oh.
Regular fuel on Monday. That's down from last week's $3.22 per gallon. So we're trending in the right direction.
Now, how long did it stay down, though?
Well, that's... I didn't say anything about that. This is according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. The average fuel price in our Central Atlantic region has fallen about 3 cents since last month. Gas prices across the region in the last year have been as low as $3.18 on October 21st and as high as $3.85 back on August 7th.
What is the price that you see where you get excited?
Anything nowadays sub $3, I'm good. If it starts with 2, then I'm good.
And you've seen that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it was a few weeks ago. I think there were several places, and I saw on some of the Facebook groups that several places had in the $2.89. I think Sam's had $2.89.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is nice. Which reminds me, I have to give you back your Sam's Club card.
You know what this leads me to think we should do a gas report.
I would love that.
Gas prices.
Because I am one of those people that I will drive somewhere for cheap. I'll make it a reason to have to go there.
Right.
You know, if the gas is cheaper, okay, well, while I'm there, I'll hit whatever stores around there and knock out a few errands as well. But I am one of those people that will drive for lower gas, absolutely.
Well, the
it's a good idea.
The bad news is, a year ago, the average gas price in our region was 12% higher at $3.60 a gallon. That's, I guess that's good news because it's not there, but man, oh man.
Just for the amount of driving that I do personally, it's a lot.
I want my gas at $2 a gallon.
Yeah, I would even take $2.50 at this point.
Oh,
I mean, 2 would be great, but more.
I mean, in the middle, $2.25 a gallon.
$2.25. I'm here for that. The historic 40-acre Hogmeyer Berry Farm in Washington County, Maryland. I just want to confirm I'm saying that correct.
Hogmeyer Berryman.
I'm sorry, Hogmeyer Berryman Farm in Washington County, Maryland, has now added to more than 41,000 acres of land preserved in conservation easements in the county. The farm, listed on the National Register of Historic Places, dates back to the early 19th century. Where is this exactly located?
I don't know. I meant to research that, and I didn't get around to it. But I just thought that this was amazing because just last week we also reported on a farm that had received an honor for being the Farm of the Year in Washington County.
Yes.
And then here we have one that's added to the National Historic Registry. What I should have done, and shame on me, is I should have researched why. What is historic? Is it just the age, which is fine, or is there something that happened there? But I would think if it was something major, it would have said that.
41,000 acres.
Whew. Well, no, it's added to. There are 41,000 acres of preserved land in general. This is just added to.
That said 41,000.
It's like the overall total.
I understand. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for explaining that to me. Something you don't have to explain to me, because Andy's going to do it.
That's right.
What's going on with sports?
Here's your national sports roundup. Last night in the NBA, the Pacers beat the Pistons 115-109. The Hawks took down the Nets 120-116. And the Orlando Magic beat the Heat 116-97. The Milwaukee Bucks beat the Philadelphia 76ers 124-109, while the Cleveland Cavaliers were victorious over the Toronto Raptors 136-106. The New Orleans Pelicans beat the Chicago Bulls 123-111. And the Phoenix Suns took down the Los Angeles Clippers in a close game, 116-113. They beat them in overtime. The Golden State Warriors beat the Trailblazers 139-104. Tonight, we have the Boston Celtics going up against the Washington Wizards. The San Antonio Spurs battle the Dallas Mavericks. The Oklahoma City Thunder take on the Denver Nuggets. And the Minnesota Timberwolves will take on the Sacramento Kings. Not a lot of action in the NHL last night. The Capitals did take on the Philadelphia Flyers and were victorious by a score of 6-3. For the Capitals, McMichael put 2 in the net and had 3 assists, while Thompson, the goalie for the Capitals, had 26 saves on the game. Coming up tonight, there's some great action in the NHL. The Dallas Stars take on the Boston Bruins. The St. Louis Blues battle the Toronto Maple Leafs. The New Jersey Devils take on the Detroit Red Wings. The Minnesota Wild take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Florida Panthers battle the New York Rangers. The Carolina Hurricanes take on the Calgary Flames. The Colorado Avalanche will battle the Utah Hockey Club. The Winnipeg Jets take on the Seattle Kraken. And the San Jose Sharks take on the Los Angeles Kings. The World Series begins on Friday. Tomorrow, the Yankees will take on the Dodgers in Game 1 of the World Series at Dodger Stadium. Getting the start for the Yankees is Garrett Cole, and getting the start for the Dodgers is Jack Flaherty. That game starts at 8:08.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach at 921thegoat.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors, the right choice, winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State contest.
Our last guest today, we have Robbie Blair, who is the Executive Director of Main Street Martinsburg. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
It's a pleasure.
Tell us about the mission of Main Street Martinsburg. What's the goal that you guys have?
Yeah, so Main Street Martinsburg is actually the oldest Main Street organization in the state of West Virginia. Main Street is a national approach. The Main Street 4-point approach of promotion, economic vitality, design, and organization was founded by Mary Means in the 70s. And, you know, there's thousands of us around the country that work to preserve history while also encourage the reinvestment in our historic commercial districts. You know, we wear a lot of different hats. Sometimes we're advocating for pulling weeds. Other times it is, you know, writing grants to try to get some more vibrancy in our downtowns. But you know, it's different per community. So we're really focused on bringing that attention back to our downtowns. You know, we as Americans made a big push when the interstates came through to malls and strip malls and stuff like that. And it's really about getting back to our roots. You know, most communities across the world look the way our downtowns look here on the East Coast. So trying to get back to how the wheel was invented, basically.
How do you keep the historic downtown, like the heart of the community?
Yeah. You know, it's something that I said when I interviewed for my job. I think that the most challenging and rewarding part about our job as Main Street directors is people care inherently about where they are from. It means something, and it's a part of who they are, right? a big bridge that we have to, a gap, I should say, that we need to bridge is what looked like a booming downtown in the 60s for some folks that were around for that and saw downtowns thriving in that era. We want that heart to be there, but it's going to look a little different, right? It can't be shoe shine shops and, men's clothing stores and furs. Like, I'm just naming some places that were in our downtown.
Why not? I mean, come
maybe
on
one
now,
day.
yeah.
Maybe one day. But the harsh reality is social media, Amazon, and quite frankly, the pandemic have just blown up how we do anything.
Yep.
And
we instantly had to pivot to everything, and
we did.
We did.
So for me, there's a big part of what our organization does with businesses, with our city government, with our volunteers and our residents. You do have to maintain that historic culture and heritage, and that's kind of why we have an event this weekend, and we've restructured it to just try to celebrate the farm to fork heritage that we have in Berkeley County. So yeah, it is a tightrope you got to walk, right? Like bringing in the new while not stepping on the old.
Absolutely.
Right. Honoring, trying to serve as many as you can. But
right.
I can't tell you how many stories I've heard from others who share your position in their respective towns where a business would come in and occupy an otherwise empty space and people would complain.
Yeah.
Well, there was nothing in there before.
Yeah.
It's not, and they didn't change anything or rework the historical structure of a building or paint it or anything like that. And yet it just people everybody wants nobody wants change, but everyone wants improvement.
That's right. And two things on that point. The opposite of that can be said as well. When everybody took their business to malls and out by the interstate and these pop-up places, what you were left with in a lot of downtowns was not the kind of walkable, pop in on a weekend businesses that you want. So we've been lucky. We've seen a lot of those places leave, like some of the seedy stores that you don't really want in your downtown. They've started to leave, and we've started to see more of a resurgence and really cool things. Like we have a gelato place opening up this weekend. We have a martini bar that just opened up last week. Got 3 or 4 boutiques downtown now. A food hall that is one of a kind.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
That's a halfway meeting point for a couple of my friends, and I absolutely love it. What is it called?
The Garage on King.
Yeah, I love it.
It's great.
It is great.
And it's an incubator space. A lot of folks don't know that. The person who put that together, there is no upfront cost for any of those restaurants. They do share a fee of their profits. But it's meant to be a space for people to try out a concept without having to put a bunch of money up front.
And you can go and have a drink at the bar, then have a dessert, a quesadilla.
Yeah, and a block away we have 400 new apartments being put into a abandoned 13 acres that's been abandoned for almost 30 years. So, we're seeing all that, but conversely, like some of those stores that we didn't want there are no longer there, and the new owners of the buildings are holding out for the right tenants. So, you can see some vacancies and say, oh man, they got a lot of empty storefronts. But what I see is a business owner who cares enough to put money into fixing that place and making sure it's the right fit for what we're trying to do downtown. So it is quite an interesting, balance of we want everything filled.
Yeah.
We want everything filled.
But the right way.
But you do want to do it the right way, exactly.
Not filling for the sake of filling. Isn't there a restaurant down there that you went to?
Yes, I was actually going to bring that up. I don't remember the name of it, but so let me explain it, because the food was phenomenal.
Okay.
It was fancy. It was a little more upscale.
Bricks 27.
That's it.
There you go.
Yep, that was it.
I was going to say, why don't we stop there and see if we can get it
Some
just
of the
from
best,
that.
That's it.
Amazing cocktails, amazing appetizers. It was.
Those folks know what they're doing.
I have to be honest with you, Robbie. I haven't spent a ton of time in downtown Martinsburg.
Mm-hmm.
When I lived here prior, I was up in this area. Now I live up in Greencastle, and before that I was in Virginia. So downtown Martinsburg was not an area I spent a ton of time in. But since I've moved back, that's a really great meeting point for a lot of my friends and I. And I have really, really been impressed with the downtown. The food is great. There's a lot to offer. There's great cocktail places, boutiques, like everything you're saying. You guys are doing a great job.
Well, I'm really proud to say that we have a group of people that really care. And that is a challenge and a big reward to have a lot of people who care about their town. We like to say in our profession, like, where you live and how you view where you live says a lot about how you view yourself, you know, and your self-esteem. And we have a lot of people right now that are, they're determined to make sure that they leave their fingerprint on our town. And I think we all deserve a community center that reflects our makeup and who we are.
And being proud of where you're from.
That's right.
And connected to it, I think, as well.
Yeah, and well, community pride is like the big thing that we're focusing on right now. Reigniting that spark, right, of community pride, because apathy is the worst thing that you can have. And a lot of times where we live, 55% of the people who live in the Panhandle in West Virginia work outside of the state of West Virginia. And that is not a good recipe, unfortunately. Like, growth, you can say, is a good thing, but I could also say it's not. And that's not me saying I don't want people moving to the area. Not at all the case. My wife's a transplant. She's not from the area. But you have to be really smart about how you do it. And you have to keep in mind some of these challenges of people just sleeping in your community. They end up staying late at work where they are to hang out with people. They spend their time on the weekends where they're either from originally or where they work, because that's what they're familiar with. So we have a little extra work in making sure that our community is a place that our residents love, enjoy, and know where to go. You know, that there's a big education piece too for the new people that are moving to the area. We really want to make sure that we're indoctrinating them in, you know, our community, because we want it to be their home. You know, we want them to feel like it's almost heaven, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of work that
you
goes
had to
into
work that in, didn't you? Just had to.
I wouldn't be a mountaineer if I didn't do it.
Of course,
you know?
of course.
With the minute and a half that we have left here, Robbie, you have an upcoming Christmas market.
I do.
Talk to us about what we could expect at the Christmas market.
Well, let me say first, this weekend we have our Fall Food Fest, and we're expecting between 10 and 15,000 visitors. There's 22 food trucks that'll be here. All of our restaurants have really cool local ingredients. Sometimes West Virginia food gets boiled down to hot dogs and pepperoni rolls, but
which there's nothing wrong with.
No,
We're
but
here
our
for
culinary roots are very interesting in Appalachia. Bricks 27, for example, has a pawpaw margarita this weekend. Have you ever had a pawpaw?
No, but
a pawpaw is the most native plant to Appalachia, and they're all along the C&O Canal. You cannot. It is illegal to do it on the C&O Canal. But you forage them, and they're a wild fruit that grow, and it's a cool thing.
I've been to Pawpaw. My dog is from Pawpaw, West Virginia.
Okay. So, you know, this weekend we have a lot of, again, celebrating that farm to fork heritage. Our Christmas on Main is going to be a lot of fun. Again, it's a street festival where we expect that same crowd. Lots of vendors come in, and really they get to see, you know, for me, there's some folks that come a lot and they enjoy it and they enjoy our town frequently. But then I have to honestly just come to grips with the fact that they'll be coming 3 times a year when I do these festivals, like our St. Patrick's Day, our Fall Food Fest, and our Christmas on Main. And it'll be really cool for those folks because there's going to be a handful of businesses that weren't there last year.
Yeah. Well, it sounds great, and I know I really enjoy that. You guys are doing a great job in downtown Martinsburg.
I appreciate you joining us. We appreciate that.
Yeah. Hope to be back sometime soon.
Absolutely.
And we definitely want to thank our friends at Veritas Men's Health in Hagerstown. They have telehealth available, and you can also find them online at veritasmenshealth.com.
We will see you tomorrow.
Improve your odds for a successful fall archery season. Stop by Keystone Outdoors before you head to the woods. Their experienced staff will have you and your bow ready when you walk out the door. Ask for details on Keystone Outdoors' annual Battle of the Bucks contest. Harvest a buck and enter to win prizes and bragging rights. Deadline for rifle is Friday, November 29th. Must register in store. All entries have a chance to win a Weatherby Model 307 Adventure SD. Keystone Outdoors, Fort Loudon. Everything outdoors.
Are you currently medically uninsured? Uninsured citizens are healthier and more productive through free access to health care. Are you currently a citizen of Washington County, Maryland?
Hi, I'm Nicole, Executive Director of the Community Free Clinic. We can help those in need of physical or mental health care, including prescription medicine and lab services. Services are not based on income. Most services are free to qualifying patients. Are you currently medically uninsured? If you need physical or mental health care, learn if you qualify at mycommunityfreeclinic.org.
Change brings opportunity, and here at Williamsport Health and Rehabilitation, we are very excited to announce that as of October 1st, our name has changed, but the care and compassion that is at the heart of all we do has not. Previously Williamsport Retirement Village, our goal was and always will be to provide the best care in the tri-state area to our community. We currently have openings in our assisted living and long-term care. Please call 301-223-7971 to hear about our incentives and to schedule a tour. Williamsport Health and Rehabilitation, care beyond compare.
Kamala Harris gets that everyday costs are too high. She has real plans to tackle price gouging, cut taxes for middle-class families, and make life more affordable. Her opponent's plan?
Donald Trump plans to impose what is, in effect, a national sales tax. On everyday products, it will mean higher prices on just about every one of your daily needs. A Trump tax on gas, a Trump tax on food, a Trump tax on clothing, a Trump tax on over-the-counter medication. Donald Trump's plan would cost a typical family $3,900 a year. When everyday prices are too high, he will make them even higher.
Kamala Harris, a better plan for lowering costs for a future we can afford. Paid for by FFPAC, ffpac.org, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.